So you were saying Baz Luhrmann is
Baz Luhrmann.
You unironically like his movies.
Yes. Much as our shared unironic love for Lana Del Rey, and that's not a joke.
And I want to say our also shared unironic love for the Underworld series.
Oh yeah, of course, duh. Yes, and it goes hand in hand with literally hand in hand with world famous symphonic metal band, and the metal is very light. Within Temptation.
That's right. Man, we line up on so many. It's great. But no, so I also unironically love Baz Luhrmann films. I thought The Great Gatsby was actually a fantastic movie.
Good, I did too.
A
lot of people were like, "It's too campy," and I'm like, "Who gives a
The soundtrack was insanely good. That's what actually sparked my love of Lana Del Rey.
Arguably Leonardo DiCaprio's best role of his life.
It's a good one.
His
for
whole
sure.
life.
But like I loved Australia, even though it's been a long time since I've seen that one. The one I still need to see actually is Romeo and Juliet.
Oh,
but
a real classic.
The one that I wasn't as big a fan of, and I really thought I would love it, was Moulin Rouge.
You're a damn fool. This is not a lie.
It needs another...
On New Year's Eve, we watched Moulin Rouge.
Really?
Yes. Like that's what our New Year's Eve thing was. We were going to drink and have snacks and make fancy cocktails and watch Moulin Rouge.
Hell yeah, that's a great
party.
party.
Exactly what we did. It was a great party.
That sounds awesome.
The only one I haven't seen is Australia. I actually didn't know that was Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
I heard it was very long.
It was long, but I mean, I feel like I don't remember how long these other ones are. I don't know what it was about Moulin Rouge that really didn't click with me, because like I've always loved like Ewan McGregor's version of Your Song that he sings, and I really love like it's the Nirvana song. Help me. That they sing
Teen Spirit.
Yes.
Really?
No,
Am I right
no.
about that? Yes.
Crap.
Toxic by Britney Spears.
No, but that's in there too, right?
No,
it's not. Shit,
I think Moulin Rouge may have been pre-Britney Spears' Toxic.
Oh, okay.
Not pre-Britney Spears.
Yeah, not pre-Britney Spears. What is it? It's the Nirvana one that's like, I was going to say that he like yells the chorus, but I mean, that's like all.
Oh, I don't know. What scene is it in the movie?
It's very early on. It's like one of the very first ones, entertain.
I
feel stupid.
Really?
What
is
it
that
called?
the song?
I don't know. No.
Oh,
What's it? Okay,
gosh.
god damn it. I got to look this up now.
All I know is that Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend by Madonna plays in the pretty early stages, and it's great.
Nirvana songs. I mean, it's like...
And then Kylie Minogue shows up, and she's a fairy, and that was confusing. Did you know that was Kylie Minogue? She's the Green Fairy.
Is it Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Is it? No.
No. What the fuck is this song?
It's probably not Nirvana. You're crazy.
No, it's Nirvana for sure. I know it's Nirvana.
You can handle it. I'll just look into the weird cameras of your weird phone.
That's right. Is it fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit? No, it's not Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Did you just look up the soundtrack to Moulin Rouge?
No, I should have.
That's the easiest way to find it. What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, it is Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh.
So they sing that, and I was like...
plays in Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. And when it started, I was like, oh, this is awesome. But it was like, and so like, it had a really great start. But then once, I don't know, like maybe I thought the Duke character is just a little too corny, a little too campy. I don't know. It's just it started very strong. And then I slowly just like, kind of was like, man, I'm not loving this as much as I thought.
I thought it got better and better the whole time. Yeah.
Maybe I need to give it another view.
Give it another shot. Give it another try.
But yeah, I've literally only seen it once.
Well,
but
now there's no time like the present.
That's true. Watch it again. But no, I do actually really enjoy Baz Luhrmann films, because I want to say Australia was coming out when I first started really pursuing film, and Apple actually teamed up to make like a series of videos about the production of Australia. So, and I watched those a lot. So I got really invested in those before I as I was like kind of starting to learn film. So I was like, oh, this is so cool. I love Baz Luhrmann. He's, a lot, which I do. And so that kind of carried over there. But
the reason we're talking about Baz Luhrmann today is because we're visited by his also famous younger brother, Baz
Malbus.
Baz Malbus.
From Star Wars story. From
Wars.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Because this is episode 2 of Team Chit Chat, our non-gaming show that we are making specifically for our patrons as a thank you to those who donate to us at the $5 a month tier. So this one's coming out 2 weeks from now. This will go out to the general public. But as much as we are talking and having fun about talking about Baz Luhrmann, my topic that I wanted to talk about is not Baz Luhrmann.
Well, at least they're getting a 2 for 1.
That's true. It's kind of like we're kind of getting a little of the hot takes on Baz Luhrmann and moving on to this other one.
Are we late to the party?
But no. So this one is actually, and I want to talk about not so much a review of the movie itself, But I wanted to talk about Star Wars, and specifically Rise of Skywalker. But more specifically than that, I want to talk about the fans of Star Wars.
Ooh, this is going to be a hot takes team chitty chat.
After my thoughts on it in the heat of my hot takes has cooled slightly since it's been a while since the movie came out. Since I watched it.
That's probably good for some retroactive
It is good because
analysis.
the big deal is that and it's not only Star Wars, it's kind of fandoms in general. And maybe that's more of what a directed of this thing is. Fandoms are out of fucking control right now.
They really are. They're like crazy.
It's to the point, and it's exacerbated by the fact that there's Twitter where everybody can have their opinion and everybody can state their opinion. I state my opinion on Twitter about Star Wars and other things, so I'm not necessarily knocking that. But it seems to me that it has become more fun to shit on things that other people like than to actually have good, strong, well-communicated discourse about why you may like it or why you may not like it. And that has become never more clear than in the days following the release of like The Last Jedi and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Like it was The Rise of Skywalker. It's ridiculous how many people, I get it. If you don't like the movie, that's fine. I can't force you to like the movie or to not like the movie.
You can if you have enough of your Jedi mind powers.
That is true. Unfortunately, the Force, to my knowledge, is not a real thing. I mean, I'll be Force sensitive.
Wow, heresy. Dang.
But still, it's this whole thing of just like, I don't know, and maybe I'm being too sensitive about it, but I feel like if you like something, you can clearly communicate in a tweet or any other way that you want in a video review of different things like that, and you can say, I like this movie because. You can also come on and say, I don't like this movie because. But maybe it's the medium of Twitter and only having a few words to say it, but it literally felt like people were just spitting out the most ridiculous ways to say that they hated it and to shit on it that they could think of, rather than it being just like, no, this is stupid because XYZ. And it's just like, okay, granted, it's not my favorite Star Wars movie. I need to see it.
What if it were?
Yeah, that'd be
What
funny.
if it were your absolute
My
favorite
absolute
one?
favorite is Return of the Jedi. But it's one of those things, it's like, we're fandoms, and I understand. Again, I'm trying to say, I'm not saying you shouldn't share your negative opinions if you have a negative opinion and why you don't like something. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, and only positive things should be shared. I just feel like fandoms feel like some parts of fandoms feel like they are absolutely owed what they want out of a movie, what they think it should be it a video game, be it a movie, be it a TV show.
Yeah, that applies to a lot
It
of
applies
different
to a
forms
lot of
media.
different things. And so it's frustrating though, but to me, I feel like in a sense, the creator of these things, this is probably the biggest hot take of the hot takes, I'll say. They don't owe you anything.
They don't.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
like
I think that way about most forms of media.
Right.
Is if you don't like it, you don't have to consume it.
Exactly.
And that's your right as the customer. And if somebody else wants to make something that you hate, just don't watch or read or play it.
Right. I think it's a thing of just like, you're not you and me. Like, I will say that I'm not owed. I don't feel like I'm owed the Star Wars story or the Star Wars movie that I want. That's the thing about art. Art is a creation of the artist's expression, and you are supposed to then take it and interpret it on your own. But they do not have to change their art to fit your desire. You know, you can voice your opinion, and we have seen instances where that does happen, such as like the Sonic redesign. But where that vocal voice does force the changing of art, but still, I don't know. And I feel like I'm already kind of going off on a whole lot of different tangents, and I don't know if I'm totally making sense. But it's just like, it's so saddening to me as a person who has loved Star Wars so much to be like, I loved this. It was great. I felt like it did, like, the movie was over and everything like that. And I'm trying to avoid spoilers because I know it's still very, very close to when this movie came out. But the ending came and I was just smiling from ear to ear. Certain things happened. I shed a tear because I was just so damn happy with how it was all coming together. Granted, there were parts of it I did not like. And I will go ahead and say the number one problem that I have with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is how they absolutely, you've seen it.
Yes,
right?
I have.
And so, slight spoiler, how they absolutely fucked over Kelly Marie Tran's character, Rose Tico. And
really? That was the thing that got you fired up?
because it seemed like Disney gave in to the trolls and
Now,
to the hate
that
and
I
to
will
all that
agree
stuff.
with. I'm just surprised that that's the, like, of all the things.
Because I felt like that was such an injustice to her and her character.
Yeah.
And it did. And it's another instance where I felt like don't owe them to appease these angry neckbeards who are freaking out about Kelly Marie Tran. You don't owe them that, but it feels like you gave in to that because you did feel like you owed them that.
Even if it wasn't their intention,
backlash.
that's how it looks from the
how it
outside
looked.
for sure.
Right.
I agree with that.
And so, there are different things, and I could go into all those different things, and maybe on another one of these, I will actually talk a little bit more about The Rise of Skywalker and everything, or just Star Wars in general. Especially because, like I said in the last episode of the show, that I'm starting to now try to play through all the Star Wars games I haven't played, or at least focusing on like the LucasArts ones and everything. I know that I was actually thinking about, I was like, I'm not going to go like try to buy a DS or a 3DS or whatever, or Game Boy Advance to play all these.
I have a lot of them.
Oh, that's true.
I never sold any of them.
Oh, wow. Okay. But so it's just a thing. It's just like, I understand that we can have our differing opinions, but there's a way to share those opinions without literally finding the most creative way to say the thing you love, in this case, the thing I love, sucks. And you are the fact that you like it is a shitty thing.
That's what gets me, is like the malicious intent of, if someone realizes that you like the thing, they feel like they have to go out of their way to make you feel bad for liking it, or try to sway your opinion to make you also hate it.
Right.
Which is very frustrating.
Well, and it's like because, granted, the fan base is divided on if Rise of Skywalker was a good Star Wars movie or a bad Star Wars movie, but it was that way.
In fact, just be an okay one.
Right.
There is a lot of middle ground there.
But also, to me, and how I feel about being a fan of anything, if like Star Wars, I'm gonna love it no matter what. You know what I mean? Like like it no matter what. There may be things about it I'm not gonna like. There may be one that I think like there is still, to me, the worst Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? Like, which is Attack of the Clones. That one, to me, it has cool moments, but overall, it's not the best one. It's not the best one.
Was that the one with Darth Maul?
No, that was episode 1.
That was my favorite one.
Episode 1 is pretty cool. Like, see,
I don't remember anything about
one,
it.
See, episode 1 is another thing. People gave it's just these things. It's just like it's just control. Control your emotion. Don't give in to the dark side, because it's this thing, and it's just. It's probably the internet, because now you can, everybody can share their opinion. But like, Ahmed Best, the actor who portrayed Jar Jar Binks, came out within the last year or so saying that he contemplated suicide because of how terrible people reacted to Jar Jar Binks.
Oh my gosh.
And his portrayal of it.
That's
Kelly Marie
horrible.
Tran, after Last Jedi, had to erase all of her social media accounts because she was hassled and harassed so badly.
That's awful.
And then now, I'm sure if she still had it now, the same thing would be happening on this one after Rise of Skywalker. And that's just shitty. You're taking something so beautiful as Star Wars, and you are cheapening it, and you are making it all about you and not about the artistic creation. And I feel like that is just, and that applies, I feel like, to anything. It's just like, there is a space to have positive and negative views on the same thing, and to do it in a way without bringing down the people who like it, or without conversely, bringing down the people who hate it. You can share your opinion. Like, my thought on it, my tweet after I saw Rise of Skywalker was it was magical, and it was everything I wanted it to be. Granted, I'm actually probably tomorrow night, I think, maybe going to see it again, because I need to do that at second view before I can
I want to
totally
go see Cats.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
Oh man, that would be a trip.
Want to get just a little, let's say swayed beforehand, and then go see it.
I think that's the only way to enjoy Cats.
I think so.
But still, it's just like, just be kind, people. Like, that's what this all comes down to. And I'm sorry that this Team Chit Chat took on more of a rant than and everything, but it's just something that has weighed heavily, and it's weighed heavily anytime like a big franchise has a reveal. It's just that people just can't find the decency to be decent, and that applies to so many other things too.
It does,
but it's
unfortunately.
just these things were created to bring joy and to bring entertainment for people. Let them still be that. Let the people who love it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't take part in it. But don't, for the love of God, shit on the people who do love it. And if you do love it, don't shit on the people who hate it.
Take a page out of my book. You know how much I hate the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
But I keep that hatred directed at Uncharted.
Right.
Not at the people who like it, even though they are objectively wrong.
This goes against what I'm saying, Mogan. Control.
No, I know that they're wrong in my heart.
Yeah.
But that doesn't extend to them in the real world.
Yeah, I know.
If there were ever like a purge type thing, reserve all of that for fans of Uncharted. No, I would go after the creators. What am I thinking?
That's Naughty Dog. No. Do not allow you to do
There
that.
would be some slaps a flying. Anyway, so that's my two
But anyway,
cents.
so I mean, didn't mean to take this one to be so, but it's a thing that just it just honestly irks me.
And it's continuously
and it's
irksome.
continuously
It happens
irksome.
with every new thing that doesn't meet the unrealistic expectations that so many people have.
Right. And so that is what I wanted to talk about on this this episode of Team Chit Chat. I'll bring something lighter next time. Don't worry, everybody. This one
Circle back to Baz Luhrmann.
It's not. Yeah, it's not going to be this continual of a just a rant. But man, I was fired up after it, and so
that's
I had
exactly
to-
what this space is for.
Exactly.
It's to rant about either for or against things that you are really passionate about.
That's right. And so Star Wars, don't fuck with my Star Wars.
That's that.
Because that's that. Because it is something that it's funny. And well, this is going to branch off into another thing. We can save this. But Sam listens to this podcast called Las Culturistas. I believe I'm saying that right. And in that one, it talks about just pop culture and culture in general and stuff like that. And they have a question. And part of what generated this wanting to be my topic and everything is that they have a question that they ask their guests is, what piece of culture made you know that culture was for you? So it could be pop culture or anything, but the one thing that you're like, oh man, growing up or whatever it was, it'd be like, oh man, trace it back because I liked this thing got me into being like all these different things. And for me, that moment was Star Wars. I vividly remember when I was a little kid watching Return of the Jedi and seeing the scene where Luke throws the rock onto the controls of the Rancor pit's door and that brings it down and crushes it. And I think for me, that was the magical moment where Star Wars clicked. And I remember that from when I was 4, 5, 5, 6 years old, something like that. And, because of Star Wars, that grew my love for sci-fi. Star Wars, I was reading encyclopedias on the characters and planets and weapons and all this stuff for Star Wars. And because of that, I got into Star Wars video games, which then branched into Star Wars, into just liking more video games in general. And then which branched into eventually traveling down the road to doing doing a Team Chat podcast and all this other stuff and Team Chit Chat and all this. And it's just one of those things I could trace it back. So that's what I mean. Don't fuck my Star Wars, because it is very much the thing that I am one of the most things I am passionate about in this world.
Well, kudos to you.
But yeah.
Good sir.
So that's why it irks me so much.
Yeah, stick to your guns. Stand up for the thing that you like.
Yeah. So anyway, that pretty much is all my thoughts on this. Thanks everybody for joining us for this second episode of Team Chit Chat. We'll see you next time.